Crack Halloween limited edition pre-workout by Dark Labs. Went with the cotton candy flavor, which I am going to say now is tolerable. But, of course, we had to crack this open on Halloween morning and ran it again the day after. Now, I will say my personal experience with this was slightly different than most Dark Labs products, but not in a bad way by any means. And I'll get into that after we go over the label. So, you're getting 25 servings in this, which is pretty badass. Most companies nowadays are doing 20 or 15. But one full scoop is 22.4 grams. You're getting sodium as pink Himalayan salt at 100 milligrams, L-citrulline at 8,000 milligrams, beta-alanine at 4,000 milligrams, L-tyrosine at 2,000 milligrams, agmatine sulfate at 1,500 milligrams, NNDMPEA, mouthful, 500 milligrams, which my personal experience with that versus Araya, it's a little bit softer. And again, not bad by any means, just a little bit softer. Then you're getting caffeine anhydrous at 300 milligrams, 2-amino at 300 milligrams, L-norvaline, which is a nice touch, at 300 milligrams, caffeine citrate up front at 150 milligrams, theobromine at 150 milligrams, dicaffeine malate extended at 100 milligrams, Kana extract at 50 milligrams, and then alpha-yo at 90% at 1 milligram. So believe it or not, the first thing that hit me was the nose runs. Within 5 minutes, my nose started leaking. Not bad, but it was leaking. And then around the 10-minute mark is when the betas crept in. They were mild, but the only way I can describe it is like if you're turning a stovetop heater on where it like slowly starts to heat up over like 10 minutes. And then they hung around for about 30 minutes and then they kind of slowly dissipated. But around the 20-minute mark is when this whole thing like snapped together for me. Like the caffeine, the energy, the focus, the head high all hit me at once. But it wasn't like some of the other Dark Labs products out there. It was fairly smooth. It wasn't like it's kind of grabbing you by the ankles and dragging you where it wants to go. It was a little bit smoother and more subtle than some of those other ones. So the energy itself, it hits, and you have like a nice little sense of urgency. Like I was moving from one thing to another. But it wasn't like anything wild and crazy. It was just like, I'm here and it's time to rip. Now the focus part of it though, very clear and like feel good vibes. No aggression, no craziness like that. Just kind of like down here, vibing, doing my thing, moving fairly quick. Energy levels are up. Really nice, kind of like all around hitter. And then the pumps themselves were awesome standalone, in my personal opinion. I didn't end up stacking it with anything. Like day one, I did a pull day and my lats were like firing, almost to the point where like if I went down a slide too fast, I may have taken flight. It was really nice. And then the day after, I did shoulders and arms and just like nice, tight, vascular pumps for me. And then given the amount of caffeine, post-workout crash took a little while, probably about 2 hours before I felt the come down. It was a pretty substantial come down for me, but the energy levels lasted a while. So overall, for me personally, this was probably the smoothest, least aggressive Dark Labs pre-workout I've used to date. And that's not bad by any means. Like, I love Dark Labs products, but a lot of them are those like wild, crazy, like let's get after it kind of pre-workouts. This was a nice change up where it hits kind of like every nail on the head without going over the top. Like you're getting really good high energy, you're getting really good head space, like real good feel good vibes, and then some really standalone sick pumps. Like this was a really nice, well-rounded pre-workout in my mind. The only thing that sucks is it's limited edition. So we either stock up or you're missing out.